and girls, children of all ages, step right up for another episode of Cardboard Insanity.
Shut up and sit down.
Horsey Avenger.
Yes.
It's episode 19.
I know.
They keep coming back for more. They're like gluttons for punishment.
I don't understand.
Well, this
Well,
week...
I do.
This
I
week...
do.
Yeah, me too, kind of.
Yeah.
I like to listen to me. Mm-hmm. This week, everybody's patience and stick-to-itiveness, that's the thing.
Is that really a word? Because that annoys me.
Stick-to-itiveness?
Stick-to-itiveness. Whoever came up with that?
Are you just mad because you don't have any?
It's a dumb word.
Easy.
It really
don't get all hot
is.
about it.
Well, it's just always aggravated me. I can't believe you brought it up.
It's completely accidental. Is there any other words that really bother you?
Well, right now
Like
I'm really
perspicacity or
right now I'm really obsessing about the stick-to-itiveness because that's just dumb.
well,
It sounds made up.
you know what's crazy though is that you have a lot of stick-to-itiveness for hating stick-to-itiveness.
Oh God.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm dedicated to
You
it.
just got verbally owned. I wish I had. Hold on, wait.
What?
Mic drop. I'm out. It's a good thing we're so serious on this show.
Yeah.
As we're drinking our fine Italian beer, oddly enough.
Well, how could I say no?
Or the Germans listening? I just outed you. You're drinking Italian beer.
Well, it was on clearance. My family will appreciate that I'm thrifty.
Okay. Sure they will.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, let's talk. You just see, that's the downside to the new mic. You just
Okay.
crashed into the mic cord.
I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. I'm
I'm
going to edit it out.
I'm
But the Horsey
trying-
Avenger has a new microphone now.
I'm trying to get used to it. It's very different.
It sits very different in front of you,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, I know. But small price to pay for world-class sound quality. This is an award-winning podcast.
I know we're like moving up. And now I got this high quality equipment in front of me and I don't know how to act.
I think she just called me high quality.
I was talking about the mic.
Oh, okay. Who's Mike? So the Horsey Avenger has her little, I don't even know what that was. Her little cover for her old microphone was all like dented and warped from sitting in the equipment bag. And so she requested that I put it on this one. So
Yeah.
she has her old dented,
It's
I don't
for
know,
continuity.
like a phrenologist would be in here and be like, your microphone has deep emotional issues from the lumps on its head.
I like the mic the way it is.
Okay, that's fine. It sounds good.
And I wanted to stick with the cover. That's
You
my
wanna-
stick-to-itiveness.
Stick-to-itiveness with the cover. Okay,
Yeah.
fine. Continuity.
Yes.
So what is new in the Cardboard Insanity world? You believe now.
I don't have a choice. Everybody's like inundating Twitter with pictures of this bird that really looks like a chicken. There's
posted
still
a picture of the world's fattest northern flicker. I think if he could have caught it, he could have set some sort of Guinness record for
Probably.
like world's fattest woodpecker.
I think so.
I'm not convinced he didn't just take like a wood duck and paint the back of its head red.
Maybe it's a chicken that got dressed up.
He put in his Twitter that he got within 2 feet of it, and somebody else was like, "That's because it was too fat to fly away."
Exactly. That was an amazing picture.
It really was, right? So now
Yes.
you believe.
I feel like I'm just caving in.
Sometimes believing isn't about knowing; it's about feeling it in your heart.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you feel it in your heart?
Do I have a heart?
Yeah, it's like two sizes too small, like the
Okay.
Grinch.
Okay.
It beats in a
It's marching along.
It's to a German waltz.
I like waltzes.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
That's why
They're wonderful.
shouldn't surprise anybody.
Right.
So this week on the show is a special week, and we are. First of all, we're super lucky. We get all kinds of cool guests. I just talked to two guys in the last, the last week.
Yes.
Two folks that are going to be coming up on the show who are like forces of nature, and the energy and creativeness coming off these guys is so cool. So I can't wait to get those out there. But we're actually developing a queue of interviews, which is great. So
it's pretty amazing to actually have so
what
many
a
great
wonderful
interviews
problem
lined
to
up.
have. Just to have so many cool people that want to come talk to us, and so many more that I've got lined up for the future.
Mm-hmm.
So this week and next week is a, I'll call it a special show, because I was fortunate enough to reach out to a gentleman who I've always liked his game designs. You haven't played quite as many, but
I've played some.
You have, and his game designs are always very intriguing.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it just falls under don't ask, don't get. So I sent an email to Bruno Faidutti on Board Game Geek asking him if he would come on the show and just discuss board games. And he said, sure, why not? And I said, kind of sat there and just looked and said, okay. Well, now what am I going to ask him? I don't know what to ask him. So many of these other guys they're like friends.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very easy to talk to a friend.
Right.
When you talk to someone who I guess you sort of have on a bit of a pedestal as be it an artist of any kind, I guess, musicians.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time in the board game world where I've had a conversation with someone who've been like a little over fanboy.
Mm-hmm.
I tried hard. I hope it doesn't come through in the interview. I tried not to be a fanboy. I tried hard. I don't know.
You had the biggest grin on your face for like even an hour after.
I did. I know.
Yeah.
And so this was an interview that I did last year. I did this in September.
Yeah.
So, life happens and it's getting published now, which is good because we've had some time to play a new game of his that we're going to review on next week's episode. Mm-hmm. So if you want to hear about Raptor, you can listen next week. You'll get part 2 of the interview and then our review of Raptor. This week we're going to do part 1, and we're also going to review Warehouse 51, which is a game that Bruno was one of a couple collaborators on. And this game just has not gotten, like so many others, like what we try to do here. Mm-hmm. This game just did not get the attention it deserved.
I don't understand it.
I don't either. So we'll go into the pertinent details of Warehouse 51, and you guys are going to hear the first part of my interview with Bruno coming up in just a little bit. We've got some business we have to take care of. Mm-hmm. So as a matter of fact, let's get to business. Then let's come back and listen to a conversation between myself and Bruno, and then a review of Warehouse 51, and maybe a little bit more business at the end. Horsey Avenger, do you want games?
Yeah, of course I want games.
Did you know where you should go?
Where?
GameSurplus.com.
Really?
Yeah.
They have games?
You might think not by their URL,
okay.
But let me assure you that GameSurplus.com has all kinds of games.
Well, actually, I do know that they have a lot of games.
You do, because you have ordered from there yourself, in addition to me ordering from there.
Well, that was all you're doing.
And that's what we're going to do now. Mm-hmm. So for everybody listening, Game Surplus has all your standard titles from all your main publishers in America. They have the same games that everybody else has, but they have them at better prices and with super great customer service. Super great is definitely a bad superlative, but I'm sticking with my guns because that was the first thing that came into my heart.
Okay.
What makes Game Surplus really special, though, besides their excellent customer service, is the huge amount of imports they get.
I was just going to say that. If you're looking for imports, that is the place to go.
So let me tell you about a couple that I'm looking through the list that they've had this year. Imported versions of Homesteaders, impossible to get in America. We've got Werfel Ligretto. We've got Oh My Goods, the Orleans Invasion expansion. Schinderhannes, Wer sind das Volk? Mm-hmm. Ja, sehr gut.
Yeah.
Looney Quest. The ever popular Carcassonne Star Wars. A German game I'd love to say called...
Hold it. They have
Kark Star Wars. Oh, yeah.
They have Kark Star Wars?
Yeah. Waldschattenspiel, which I've always wanted to play.
Okay.
I hope it's the good version. I didn't check. That should be the good version. They get all these wonderful imports all the time. if they have something, if you want something and they don't have it, call them, ask them, send them an email. They'll get it for you. Glen More, a game that they'll probably never print again in America for reasons no one knows. Game Surplus has it.
Really?
They do.
That's pretty awesome.
They get it in all the time.
I know when I was looking for Looney Quest, that was the place to go.
Exactly. Look, Citrus, Kraftwagen, My Village, Octodice, Port Royal, Potato Man, Quicks, Tobago. These are all games that they just... For Quicks you can get in America, but the other ones, these are all imports. They're amazing. Radis, a couple versions of Radis. Paimel Flaumen. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ein Frage der Ara.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So if you want import titles or even just regular domestic, the Miller Lite titles of America, Game Surplus is your place to go.
Yep.
And in the comments section, tell them Cardboard Insanity sent you, and you'll get high fives from us.
Well,
and eventually we'll be doing some giveaways.
I was going to say, eventually you're going to get some discounts.
And the more folks that order from them, the more discounts or promotions they'll run from the show. So go check out Game Surplus, www.gamesurplus.com. Tell them Cardboard Insanity sent you. Buy some German contraband.
Yeah.
And put it on your table.
Genau.
All right, everybody, welcome back from the break. I have a very special guest with me today, a man who has designed 40 some odd games, many of which you're going to know, a couple of which I would consider absolute classics in modern board gaming, all the way from Paris, France, Mr. Bruno Faidutti. Bruno, thank you for joining me today.
Hi.
It is a pleasure to have you on the podcast. And thank you for taking time out of your busy afternoon. What was on the plans for this afternoon for you?
Well, mostly working on one more game design. Something I'm doing with Ludovic Maublanc, but it's just wide ideas so far.
Okay.
Just a sheet of paper, and I'm trying to write down some ideas.
Okay. So do you design professionally or do you work a regular job? Because you're pretty prolific as a game designer.
I have a part-time job. I work part-time as a teacher in high school.
Really? What do you teach?
Economics.
No kidding. So yeah. I know you have I believe a PhD in history. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah.
And you studied, according to what I've read about you in my cyber stalking, some law and some other topics. What is your PhD in history regarding? Is it something specific?
Well, it's my PhD in history is about it's more history of science or history of knowledge, and it's a discussion about the reality of unicorns in 16th and 17th century, literature, mostly medicine books and travel accounts and all that stuff.
And it's about the history. So did you determine that unicorns were real?
Oh, of course.
Because I really want to believe that unicorns are real.
No, in fact, I think the idea is to try to see how we notice that something that is not completely unrealistic is wrong. Because, when you were at the end of the Middle Ages, it was very easy, dragons, werewolves, and all that stuff, because it was not very consistent with reality. But unicorns are not something fantastic. They are just a horse with one horn, why not? They are less fantastic than elephants or giraffes or anything, other animals that people had not seen in these times. So it's interesting to see how the discussion comes and, okay, they do exist, they don't. Or, they exist, but they are also called rhinoceros and they don't look exactly like in the pictures, and lots of different way of dealing with this, and I think it was very interesting.
Apparently. No games about unicorns, though.
No. Don't
want to combine the work and the hobby at the same time, huh?
No, I don't want to.
So you have been designing games for quite a